But it may run over. It might not even go to 9, but we'll see, I guess. The stream will be uploaded to YouTube afterwards. So if you have to go during the stream, that's fine. And if you want to catch up, you can always watch the video. But yeah, just wait a couple more minutes, maybe, just to wait for the rest of the people. But while we're waiting for them, I'll show you the rounds. So yeah, there's 7 rounds. Round 1 is film, TV and music. Round 2 is history. Round 3 is sport. Round 4 is geography. And then in between round 4 and 5, we're going to have a 5-minute break. And also the first 4 rounds we play through. Then there's the answers for them rounds. And then we go, have our break, come back to do 5, 6 and 7, and which are odd one out, science and general knowledge, and then we'll be finished, basically, after we've done the answers, of course. But we'll just wait 1 or 2 more minutes just to wait for the latecomers, if any. Hope everyone had a good day, even though it's probably in quarantine. My highlight was going to Tesco Express and getting me some pork scratchings and a 4-pack of Snickers. So that's like now exciting, I think. Don't really know what to say during this period. Wait, just 1 more minute for these people. I don't know how many. Let's see how many views we've got. I hope it's not. If it's buffering, just put in the chat. And also, if the mic that could be a thing. I'm not really sure. I don't think it should be too loud, but if it is, please mention. Right, let's get started. So, round 1, film, TV and music. So, this is, I'd say, a medium round considering the quiz. There's some easy questions and some harder questions, as you can probably see, that in the science round will obviously probably be harder for some people, while this round may be a bit easier if you're into your pop and stuff like that. But anyway, let's get right into it. So, question 1. The Beatles were a massive hit in the 60s, but what was their very first studio album? Yeah, so I've tried to include questions for all ages. I don't know, people might find this really easy, some might find it hard, I don't know. Like, personally, I didn't know the answer to this. I don't think anyone really of my generation would know this unless they're a big fan of the Beatles. But yeah. So, the Beatles were a massive hit in the 60s, but what was their very first studio album? And yeah, I'm going to try and give about 15 seconds for each question. I'm going to try not to ramble, because I know people get bored and just click off the stream, because that's something I'd do if I ramble on too much. But yeah. Question 2. What year did the popular musical Grease come to fame? Now, I really don't like this film. I watched it, and it's just not my type of film. Not really much else to say about it. I just don't enjoy the film. I'm sure it probably is a good film, like, to some people, like, to most people it is. It's a very well-known film, but I'm not keen. But yeah, so what year did the popular musical Grease come to fame? Right, question 3. Sweet Dreams is a hit song from 1983, but what was the name of the pop duo who sung it? Good song, this. I do like this song. for some reason, whenever I hear it, that there's like an image of my head, like it's something I've seen, where it's these dancing bears. That's just what I picture in my mind when I hear this song. But anyway, Sweet Dreams is a hit song from 1983, but what was the name of the pop duo who sang it? Question 4. Michael J. Fox plays a teenage boy in the famous franchise Back to the Future, but what is the name of the character? And I want the full name, not just the first. So first name and surname. Of course, not the middle name. So, Michael J. Fox plays a teenage boy in the famous franchise Back to the Future, but what is the name of the character? Please say if I'm going too slow, too fast. Because I don't know how quickly people can write. But anyway, question 5. How many series are there in the hugely successful Friends? I haven't really watched Friends that much. I feel like I probably should have, but I haven't really. It's not something that it's just the description stuff doesn't really appeal to me. But I'm more of an action, I guess, more of an action and comedy. So I think this is sort of comedy, but not my type of comedy. But anyway, how many series are there in the hugely successful Friends? Question 6. Daft Punk are an electric music duo that produced songs such as One More Time, but what nationality were they? They also did Get Lucky, which is a good song. I like both them songs, One More Time and Get Lucky. Quite like electric music, me. But anyway, Daft Punk, an electric music duo that produced songs such as One More Time and Get Lucky, even though I haven't read that. But what nationality were they? What is the name of the pet snail in the children's TV show SpongeBob SquarePants? This is like my younger childhood. This program, me and my brother used to watch this all the time. It was like literally the only program on that channel that I watched. I don't even know what the channel was that we watched on, but it was the only program on it. But it is really good, really successful. But anyway, what is the name of the pet snail in the children's TV show SpongeBob SquarePants? And the final question of round 1. What is the name of the 8th episode of the Star Wars franchise? I've gone with a bit of an easy one, not trying to trick you. If I said like the 2nd episode, that would be like the 5th film, and I don't want to trick people out. But what is the name of the 8th episode in the Star Wars franchise? This franchise should be finished, in my opinion, now. I think the last movie should have finished it off now. But it was a good franchise. Okay, so that is round 1. So we're going to move straight on to round 2, which is history. And yeah, let's get right into it. So, question 1. VE Day was celebrated on Friday, but how many years ago was it when it was first celebrated? So, like, it was an anniversary on Friday. So, like, this round, I've been told by the people it before it went live that this is a very easy round. But probably the easiest round of the quiz. But anyway, VE Day was celebrated on Friday, but how many years ago was it when it was first celebrated? Right, again, another really easy question. Question 2, where did the pharaohs originate from? And you can probably know, even if you didn't know what pharaoh was, you'll probably know from the picture on the left anyway. But, and when I say originate from, I mean like what country? So, where did the pharaohs originate from? Question 3. What was the name of the famous Tudor king who had 6 wives? And this question, if anyone doesn't get this, I don't know. If you can't get this, maybe this quiz just isn't for you. Because this is a really easy question, in my opinion, anyway. You definitely don't have to be a history fanatic in order to know this question. But anyway, what was the name of the famous Tudor king who had 6 wives? I keep repeating myself, but anyways, I realise it. Anyway, look, then I said it. Question 4. What is the era in which Jesus lived and was crucified? And with this question, it's a bit of a harder question, but not too hard. And you can probably tell what era it was by the picture if you know who, and by the word crucified. So, what is the era in which Jesus lived and was crucified? Question 5. Who was the former monarch of Britain before Queen Elizabeth II? And by the way, with these questions where I'm asking for the name of the monarch, I need to, the first, second, third bit as well, not just the name. Because many people will know this, but it's surprising that few people won't know which one, what the number was. But anyway, who was the former monarch of Britain before Queen II? Of course, this queen. First, multiple choice question. So, question 6. What century conqueror rule? Was it the 11th, the 12th, or the 13th? I mean, it probably could have been lived, because he lived through the only century he lived in. But again, this could be classified as quite an easy question. The picture as well, that's not what loads of pictures, they're all different of him. It's so old. And the image I think of when I see him. Anyway, so what century did William the Conqueror rule? So the 11th, the 12th, or the 13th? Question 7. The Cold War was a war with no fighting between the USA and what other large nation? And as you can see, you can probably tell. Again, another quite easy question. Like, this whole round is easy. I need to stop saying it's easy, because every question is quite easy, in my opinion. So what was a war with no fighting between the USA and what other large nation? And the final question of round 2 is, what year was the World Trade Center crashed into by terrorists in planes? As you can see that image, I mean, I just imagine how scary that was. Like, yeah, when I went to New York, and they have the new one World Trade Center, and that is, those were even taller, and the fact that they were both falling down, that must have been horrible for the people. And another problem is there's a school, so that is really scary. That I don't know if the school's still open. But what year was the World Trade Center crashed into by terrorists in planes? Okay, moving on to round 3, the sport round. This is my favourite round. Anyway, question. Who has the most Formula 1 titles in history with 7? I can't really say much about Formula 1 because I don't really watch it. I have a few friends that watch it, but it's not that I'm not a fan. I just find it'll get boring over time because they're literally just racing on the track. But you can say that the same thing with what my favourite sport is, football. You can say it's just kicking the ball and that's all you're doing. You're like, both sides to it. People enjoy different things. But anyway, who has the most Formula 1 titles in history with 7? Question 2. English football was paused on the 13th of March, but how many games have teams played? So if you're a Premier League team fan, you'll probably know. Was it 27, 28, or 29 games? which is quite a lot of games, so I don't think it would be fair. Especially in my case, I would be really annoyed if they called the season void. Really annoyed. And some of my friends would definitely, all my friends would know. But anyway, English was on the 13th of March, but how many games had most Premier League teams played? Was it 27 or 29? Question 3 for the cricket fans. The West Indies hit 421 batting first in their warm-up match, but versus who? Australia, New Zealand or Pakistan? Again, I did play cricket for a bit, but I sort of went off the sport. But I don't mind it. It's fun and it's not the funnest thing to watch. I mean, most sports are fun to play. But there's the ones like cricket. It lasts so long that it just gets repetitive for me. But again, you got the people that enjoy it, of course. So the West Indies 21 batting first in their warm-up match versus who? Australia, New Zealand or Pakistan? Question 4. In rugby union, what country held the 2019 Rugby World Cup? Sorry if you can hear the chair squeaking. I don't know why it's doing that. I mean, all chairs do it, I guess, but again, I can't really say too much about rugby because it's not a sport I follow or really play, to be fair. I just know that if I ever played in school, I used to be on the wing or in the scrum. But anyway, in rugby union, what country held the 2019 World Cup? Question 5. Which Swedish golfer who retired in 2008 with 90 international titles is widely regarded as the best ever female player? Ooh, again, golf, another sport. I don't follow that many sports. It tends to be 3, which are football, darts, and there is another sport I follow, definitely. But I can't think of it on the spot. I follow a bit of tennis, but that's not the sport I'm thinking. What is the sport I'm thinking? Boxing, that's it. But yeah, which Swedish golfer who retired in 2008 with 90 international titles is widely regarded as the best ever female player? Question 6. Which European city hosted the first Olympic Games in which women could participate, which was in 1900? Was it Rome, Paris or Moscow? With this question, I wasn't sure if I should put in a multiple choice or if I should just let you go with it because it is European, but I thought I'd go nice. Because if you don't know much about sport, this round is very hard. Like a lot of these questions I wouldn't know personally. I mean, in some ways, this question is just a guess for most people. Although some people are good with sport. Question 6. Which European city hosted the first Olympic Games in which women could participate? Was it Rome, Paris or Moscow? Sorry if I started there, I shouldn't have repeated question 6. But anyway, question 7. What year did Usain Bolt set the world record for 100 metres in 9.58 seconds? It's supposed to play in, I don't know why it says and, I didn't realise. But was it 2009, 2011 or 2012? I don't actually know the country it was set in, actually. No, I don't know, but that is fast. It takes me 14 seconds. And I'm not fast, but that is really quick. Anyway, what year did Usain Bolt set the world record for 100 metres in 9.58 seconds? Was it 2009, 2011 or 2012? And the final question, if you know me, you know why I put this question in. Who is currently top of the English Football League Championship, which is the second division, for those of you that haven't followed football in a while. And yeah, I'll say when we get to the answers why. No, but at least you can see the badges. So if you're not familiar, you might see the badges. Just guess one. Anyway, so that's round 3, and like I said, we're gonna do. This is the last round until we do the answers for the first 4 rounds, and then we have a 5-minute break. So geography. All these questions to me are really easy, but a lot of people won't find them that easy. Because I'd say geography is one of my strongest subjects. Anyway, question 1. The Alps spread across 8 countries, but which one has the largest alpine territory? I'm surprised I didn't put a multiple choice for this, but we'll see. Because I almost just said the answer then, thinking that I'd put a multiple choice, but I haven't. I mean, this, I don't know if this is a hint, but it's not one that you'd think, that I think when I think Alps. But the Alps spread across 8 countries, but which one has the largest alpine territory? Question 2. What African country does this flag represent? Like, to me, I put in, I'm going to tell you one country it's not Gabon, but when I took this under review, I put the Gabon flag, and I literally know I'm really good with flags, and I saw that it's like a harder one that people wouldn't know, but the people that reviewed this said that people wouldn't even know what this flag is. So, but we'll see. Question 2. What African country does this flag represent? Question 3. How many republics did Yugoslavia split into? Was it 5, 6, or 7? So it's break up after in I think 1992 it might have been, where it was after the Soviet Union collapsed or whatever it was. It turned into Russia. When the Berlin Wall was knocked down, that's when it was. So how many republics did Yugoslavia split into after its breakup? Question 4, very hard question this, very hard question. What was the name of the first continent when all land was joined together? And as you can see, that's what it looked like. This is a tough question. This is one of the toughest questions in the quiz. If you're getting worried, this is probably one of the toughest. But what was the name of the first continent when all land was joined together? This when the Earth was all like that. Question 5. What is the smallest independent country in the world? And there's your world map, but because it's so small, there's no way you'll see the country. And the words are very blurry. You can't even see Russia. Like the word Russia at all. That is bad. But I think a few people will know this. So, what is the smallest independent country in the world? Question 6. What continent does Guyana belong in? Is it South America, Africa, or Oceania? And there's its flag. That is a very peculiar flag. Again, I don't really know what to say about this. Oh yeah, I literally cannot say anything about this. So, what continent does Guyana belong in? South America, Africa, or Oceania? Question 7. What Western country does this flag represent? Uruguay, Chile, or Colombia? And by Western, if you don't know what I mean like the Americas. I probably should have just said what country in the Americas does this flag represent? Again, with this question, I thought it's a hard flag, but I think a few people will get it. If you play FIFA like I do, you'll probably get it. Anyway, what Western country does this flag represent? Is it Uruguay, Chile, or Colombia? And the final question before we have the answers are, what is the name of the largest coral reef in the world? And there you can see it, although that's kind of pointless because they're massive. And I have indeed visited this, although I was really scared to go near it because the guy in the boat told us there was fire coral, and if you stood on it, it would like burn your foot really, really bad. And I was really scared because I was worried that I was going to touch the floor. And also, we didn't have life vests when we were snorkeling, so we had these, I don't really know what you'd call them, these like, there's things that float, and if you let go, you just sink, and I was so scared that if I let go of that thing, so I barely had any time for that, so it was sort of a waste of money there, but it was nice to see, I guess. But I was young, I was only about 7. But anyway, what is the name of the largest coral reef in the world? Sorry if I rambled a bit there. Anyway, as you can see, we're now at the round 1 answers. So, number 1, what was the Beatles' first studio album? And as you can see, I have shortened the questions just so they fit. It was Please Please Me. Question 2, what year was Grease released? It was 1978. Number 3, what duo sung Sweet Dreams? It was Eurythmics. I said that completely wrong. I can't say it, so don't roast me. 4, who did Michael J. Fox play in Back to the Future? It was Marty McFly. Number 5, how many seasons of Friends were there? If you watch Netflix, you'll probably know this. There is 10. I only knew that because of Netflix. What nationality are the duo Daft Punk? They are French. Number 7, what is the name of SpongeBob's pet snail? It is Gary. Number 8, what is the name of the 8th episode of the Star Wars franchise? It was The Last Jedi. Okay, moving on to the round 2 answers. What anniversary year is it for VE Day? It is the 75th. I don't know why I struggled to say that. Number 2, where did the pharaohs originate from? It was from Egypt. Number 3, what was the name of the Tudor king who had 6 wives? It was Henry VIII. And you need the 8th. You can't just have King Henry. And you can't change it now either. Number 4, what was the era in which Jesus lived in? It was the Roman era. And that's for Britain. That's what I meant. I probably should have said that. Number 5, who was the former British monarch before Queen Elizabeth II? It was King George VI. That's why I wanted that, is the 6th bit. Number 6, what century did William the Conqueror live? It was the 11th century. The Cold War was between the USA and what other country? It was the USSR or Russia. And number 8 was, what was the year of the 9/11 terrorist attacks? It was 2001. Round 3. Who has won the most F1 titles? It is Mark Schumacher. I had to put the M because it wouldn't fit because of this stupid thing here. Number 2. How many games have been played so far in the EPL? It is 29. Number 3. The West Indies hit 421 in their warm-up against who? It was New Zealand. I don't know why I forgot the answer then. Number 4. Who held the 2019 Rugby World Cup? It was Japan. Number 5. Which Swedish golfer who retired in 2008 is considered to be the best ever female golfer? It is Annika Sorenstam. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Number 6. Where was the first Olympics held where women could participate? It was Paris. Yeah, Paris 1900. Number 7. What year did Usain Bolt set the world record for the 100 metres? It was 2009. And finally, round 3. Who is currently top of the EFL Championship? It is my team, Leeds United. Number 1 for round 4 is, which country holds the most alpine territory? It is Austria. What was the flag? It was South Africa, I think. Yes. Number 3. How many republics did Yugoslavia split into? It was 6. Number 4. What was the name of the first continent? It was Pangaea. Number 5. What is the smallest country in the world? It is the Vatican. And number 6. What continent does Guyana belong in? It belongs in South America. Number 7, another what is the flag? It was Colombia. And number 8, what is the largest coral reef in the world? It is the Great Barrier Reef. So, we're now going to have a quick break. I'm just going to turn off my mic so you can't hear any weird background noises. But yeah, we'll see you in 5 minutes just to have a quick break. But yeah, see you Right, I think we're back on. So welcome back, everybody. I don't know why I sound out of breath, but we're going to get straight in to round 5, which is, don't know why it says round 4 still. Anyway, it's the odd one out round. So these are all basically multiple choice questions. Question 1. Which of these films did not air in 1985? Was it The Terminator, The Goonies, The Breakfast Club, or Weird Science? So this is all for the 80s fans. Yeah, I keep that to me on the right, it looks like Chris Kamara, but it's definitely not Chris Kamara. Why do I look? What if you think he looks like him? Put it in the chat. Anyway, which of these films did not air in 1985? Was it The Terminator, The Goonies, The Breakfast Club, or Weird Science? Question 2. Which of these is not an amphibian? Amphibian. A salamander, a frog, a newt, or a crocodile? That thing, if you know what that is, then you know this question. Because I knew what it was. I've seen that thing before, but I didn't know the name of it. But it is one of them 4 things. Oh, I didn't repeat the question. Right, that's fine. Question 3. Which of these is not a greenhouse gas? Is it carbon dioxide, helium, water vapour, or methane? I mean, this could be a geography question, but I just thought of it at the time. All these questions I literally had to think of on the spot. And it actually took me quite a while. It took me longer than I thought to make this. It took me about 6 hours, like, all together. Like, I did it over different days, but it took me a while. But which of these is not a greenhouse gas? Is it carbon dioxide, helium, water vapour, or methane? I mean, there's an obvious one on there that definitely isn't, so you shouldn't. Yeah, I cut that one off, but I'm not going to say. Question 4. Which of these UK cities does not have a population of over 700,000? Is it Bristol, Newcastle, Sheffield, or Nottingham? And that, don't worry, that's not any of the cities, because I don't want to give it away. That is London. It's not like London inside Birmingham or something. Or not, or Bristol, sorry. Yeah, so which one is the biggest? Is the smallest, basically. That is that question. So which of these UK cities does not have a population of over 700,000? Is it Bristol, Newcastle, Sheffield, or Nottingham? Question 5. This is sort of a luck question. I thought this would just be a fun one to add in. Which of these is not a real town in Britain? Is it Diddling, Curry Mallet, Fockfold? And I have no idea if I'm pronouncing any of them right, but 3 of them, believe it or not, are actually real places. The other one I just made up on the spot. So which of these is not a real town in Britain? Is it Diddling, Curry Mallet, Fockfold, or Throop? And we did actually, I've just realised we've gone over time, definitely. And sorry, by the way, I apologise for earlier, I said Mark Schumacher. It's Michael Schumacher, not Mark. Question 6. Which of these cars came out before the 1970s? So 3 of these cars did come out during the 1970s, but which one came out in the 60s, basically? Was it the Range Rover, the Aston Martin V8, the Honda Civic, or the Mercedes-Benz S-Class? All very well-known names of cars. And these are the first models of each one. So and on the left you can see the picture of a Ford Mustang from 1964. Gorgeous. Really nice cars. Muscle cars, I quite like them. So which of these cars came out before the 1970s? The Range Rover, the Aston Martin V8, the Honda Civic, or the Mercedes-Benz S-Class? So I'm surprised I didn't include more car questions, so I quite like cars. But anyway, question 7. Which of these pop stars is not yet in their 30s? Is it Taylor Swift, Jason Derulo, Rihanna, or Ed Sheeran? The way I would think of this is just whose music did you start hearing last? I quite like all of these artists, but which one is not in their 30s? So all of them are in their 30s. No, all but one are in their 30s. The other one's in their 20s. Okay, and that's Billie Eilish. She's like 18, I think. So don't confuse her with one of them. Which of these pop stars is not yet in their 30s? Taylor Swift, Jason Derulo, Rihanna, or Ed Sheeran? And the final question of this round: which of these football teams has never won the First Division? Is it Blackburn Rovers, Aston Villa, Newcastle United, or Burnley? Good old Burnley. But this is like, the First Division, or it could be the Premier League, because one of these teams hasn't won the First Division but has won the Premier League. Again, like I said, I'm a football fan, so this is the last football question, so don't worry. Which of these football teams has never won the First Division? Is it Blackburn Rovers, Aston Villa, Newcastle United, or Burnley? And at that point, I just didn't know. I just lost because I'd done like the last 3 rounds, and I just couldn't think of questions. So anyway, round 6, which is the science round, so all the smart asses can get away now with this. So, question 1: what element has the smallest atom? Is it oxygen, hydrogen, or helium? And to be fair, I say all the smart asses, as in that's a bad thing, but I know the answers to all these questions because I've thought of them in my head. So I'm not roasting myself, I don't think. Let's just forget that. Forget what I said. So, what element has the smallest atom? Is it oxygen, hydrogen, or helium? Question 2. What is the furthest planet away from the sun in the solar system? And that is the sun, so don't be mistaken. Space questions. I quite like space. Quite interesting. So, what is the furthest planet away from the sun in the solar system? Question 3. Arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart, but what carries deoxygenated blood towards it? When I showed one of my peers, when they just to clarify the questions weren't too hard or too easy, he had no idea what this was. So, arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart, but what carries deoxygenated blood towards it? So, what blood vessel? Question 4. When was the first nuclear bomb created? 1945, 1949, or 1953? And again, this question could have gone in the history round, but nuclear physics is also science. So, and it's quite interesting. And if you know your history, you'll know when this was used. The first one, and who it was used by, but I'm not going to give you any of those away. Question 5. Famous protector of nature, David Attenborough celebrated his birthday on Friday, but how old was he? Very old. There's your clue. There he is with that eagle, as you can see. So, famous protector of nature, David Attenborough celebrated his birthday on Friday, but how old was he? Question 6. What colour on the pH scale would water go if universal indicator was added to it? And there's short of the pH scale without the pH numbers. So it's not the number, I'm looking for the colour. Where'd water go? It might be salt water. If my science teacher was complaining, it might be salt water, I think, or something. Or salt dissolved in water, something like that. But my science teacher isn't watching anymore because I'm not doing my GCSEs. I'm not doing science for for A level. So, what colour what colour on the pH scale would water go if universal indicator was added to it? I mean, some people probably have no idea. It's sort of just a guess, that one. Question 7. What is the closest galaxy to the Milky Way? Should be the. What is the closest galaxy to the Milky Way? And that is the Milky Way. It's not the closest. Again, if I put a multiple choice on it, everyone would have known the right answer, so I couldn't really. That's why I didn't this time. Because you must have heard of it, surely. So yeah. So what is the closest galaxy to the Milky Way? Or solar system. I don't know if that's what that's supposed to be. But question 8. How many bones are in the adult human body? Is it 206, 216, 226? Or no, or 226? And I don't know why I put a muscled one in. I should have put one with, it just shows the skeleton. That's got all like the muscles on it. But how many bones are in the adult body? The adult human body. Is it 206, 216, or 226? And the final round is the general knowledge round. So this is just anything. It could be anything in here. So, question 1. Steve Jobs was the CEO of which large electronics company? And I'm going to be silent for this question to respect him. Rest in peace. Okay, silence over. Steve Jobs was the CEO of which large electronic company? Again, I didn't put a multiple choice for that. Question 2. Who was the author of the world famous book series Harry Potter? And I know my sister will be screaming at the telly for this one. She's obsessed. I mean, it is quite a well-known book, I guess. I've got some world famous. So, who was the author of the world famous book series Harry Potter? Question 3. What is the name of the horror film and book by Stephen King where a clown comes every 27 years and eats children? And by the picture, you probably do know it. Even if you haven't seen it, it is a good film. Sort of the sort of horror film that my age would watch. Hence why I watched it. So what is the name of the horror film and book by Stephen King where a clown comes every 27 years and eats children? How lovely. Right, question 4. What is the name with a white and blue logo which listens to music and tells you what the song is? And you can see the logo there. Got it. I literally, when I first found this app, I thought it was amazing. I didn't know how good it was. I'm sorry for the chat, but that is really good. So, what is the name of the app with the white and blue logo, as you can see on screen, which listens to music and tells you what the song is? What an app. Okay, a bit of a fun one. True or false? There is a phobia in which people worry that somewhere in the world a duck is watching you, or them. And it's on the screen. That is what it looked like, probably. It's just staring at you. I mean, that would be such a good horror film if people made that. A duck just chases you, is just watching you, and then one day it strikes. And there's like a duck for each person. Or maybe just one duck. Who knows? I think I've just created like an amazing idea right there. People should make that. Look, Stephen Fry. Make a movie. So, there is a phobia. True or false, there is a phobia in which people worry that somewhere in the world a duck is watching them. Question 6. What month of the calendar is celebrated as Pride Month? And there's I don't know, is it a symbol of pride? Or just, is it a flag for it? I know they do. I think they carry that around in Helsinki Pride. But what month of the calendar is celebrated as Pride Month? So, let's go to the next question. I don't know why I stopped, paused there. Question 7. Which of these Scandinavian cities has the largest population? Is it Oslo, Stockholm, or Helsinki? As I just mentioned, Helsinki. And that city is Oslo. But don't worry, it could be the answer, it could not be the answer. So don't take that. I just tell that's Oslo. But it could be the right answer. But it could also not be the correct answer. You'll never find out until the questions have been answered round. So, which of these Scandinavian cities has the largest population? Oslo, Stockholm, or Helsinki? And the final question of the quiz is a US question. So, question 8. The US flag consists of 13 stripes and 50 stars. What do the stars represent? I think I was thinking of saying, do I go for the stripes? But not many people know the stripes. A lot more people do know the stars. And I don't want to make it too hard. And just to point out, the stripes represent the colonies. The English colonies. Because the English are just so amazing. So the US flag consists of 13 stripes and 50 stars. But what do the stars represent? Now, the answers. Round 5 answers. And we're at 9:10. So the stream will finish at about 20 past 9. So it's about an hour. Number 1. Which film did not air in 1985? It was The Terminator. Number 2. Which animal is not an amphibian? It is the crocodile. Number 3. Which gas is not a greenhouse gas? It is helium. Number 4. Which UK city does not have a population of over 700,000? I think it was Bristol. Yes. Number 5. Which British town is not real? It was Fockfold. The Curry Mallet is actually a real town near Birmingham. Number 6. Which car came out before 1970? This is a hard one unless you know your classic cars. It's the Aston Martin V8. Number 7. Which pop star is not in their 30s yet? Sorry, I almost said 70s then. It was Ed Sheeran. Number 8. Which little team has never won the first division? It was Newcastle. I don't know why I forgot. The reason why I chose Newcastle is because they'd come runners-up like 4 times. So that's quite unlucky for them, to be fair. Round 6 answers. Number 1. What element has the smallest atom? It is hydrogen. Well, with just one proton, I think it is. So just one proton and one electron, no neutrons. It's a fun fact because I'm a smarty pants. Right, number 2. What is the furthest planet away from the sun? It is Neptune. Number 3. What vessel carries deoxygenated blood towards the heart? It is a vein. Or veins. Number 4. When was the first nuclear bomb created? It was 1945. Because if you know your history, that you know Hiroshima was at the end of World War II. Number 5. How old is David Attenborough? He's 94 now. On Friday. Number 6. What colour does water turn when universal indicator is added? It is green. I've just realised that how old is David Attenborough? It is sort of science because it's nature, but it's not really that much science, is it? He's a scientist and TV presenter. But number 7, what is the closest galaxy to the Milky Way? It is the Andromeda Galaxy. And number 8, how many bones are in the adult human body? It's 206. When you see that number and think bones, you usually know it. Anyway, the final round, the answers were what electronic company was Steve Jobs the CEO of? It was Apple. I don't know why I forgot then. Number 2, who is the author of Harry Potter? It is J.K. Rowling. Number 3, what is the horror film by Stephen King with a clown called It? Number 4, what is the app called that listens to music and tells the name of the song? It is Shazam. Number 5, was it true or false? It was true. There is a fear called anti-day phobia, where the duck is watching you somewhere in the world. Couldn't stop laughing when I first heard of that. Anyway, and I'm sorry if I offended anyone that does have that fear. Sorry. Number 6, what month is Pride Month? It is June. Number 7, which Scandinavian city has the largest population? It is Stockholm. And finally, what do the stars represent on the US flag? It is the 50 states. So, thank you so much for playing this quiz. Hope you enjoyed it. I will try it. I hope this went well. Please put in the comments or the live chat, whatever, if you thought it was good. If you too easy, too hard, please let me know. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll let you get back on with the rest of your night. Thank you for playing, and goodbye.